Hey everyone, it's Kai from Cool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Hot Toys MMS437 Anakin Skywalker. For all your 1/6 scale figures and more, click the link in the description below to head on over to Sideshow Collectibles. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Right, I got this earlier this week from Sideshow, and I have to say this is another fantastic release by Hot Toys. And their head sculpts these days are just getting better and better, I think. This one and the Tarkin, I think, are probably my favourite head sculpts for quite some time. But I'll get to a closer look in a second. Just the box art. You get the pictures of the figure there on the back and the cardboard insert. And I have to say they've matched pretty closely from the prototype to the final production. I think some people were worried about the smoothing out of some of the features and the furrowing of his frown there. But I think they've captured that pretty damn well, so I can't complain too much about that. But I might just get the boxes out of the way. Hold on. Accessories wise, he does come with the usual rectangular Star Wars base from Hot Toys. This time the non-standard thing is that this cover sheet is actually a sticker. I'm not sure if they've done that on any of the other figures, but all of my other Star Wars figures have not had to have stickers be put on. You can line it up pretty well, but there's not much tolerance, so you do have to be very careful in how you put it on. So I'm not sure why they didn't just tamp it on, because I hate putting on stickers like on my Lego sets. But I managed to get this one on straight, so it doesn't look too bad. Of course, you get the nameplate there with his name. So not too bad there. Comes with two lightsabers, being from Revenge of the Sith. It comes with his own lightsaber, and you can remove that blade to put onto the battery-powered lightsaber hilt. And he also comes with Count Dooku's. You can take it apart, but there's not much point in doing that. And overall, the paint application and detailing on the hilts are the usual high Hot Toys standard. So the paint work on the silver is nice and clean, and all the little details are there as well, similarly for his usual handle there. So all good there. Comes with a slew of hands. So he comes with the gloved hands on his right side, if you want to have him holding the lightsaber and so on. And the detailing is not too bad there. So you get the lightsaber holding hand there, and a few force gesturing hands. And for his left, he also comes with a whole bunch of gesturing hands as well. And as usual, the paint application and sculpting detail is pretty damn good, as you'd expect from Hot Toys these days. Of course, he comes with the swap out arm. Now, this is the arm that comes with the figure, and he does come with the gloved hand on. Taking it out is a little bit tight the first time, but just be careful, particularly when you put on the skeleton hand, the robot hand, which I'll show you guys in a second. I haven't bothered trying this electronic, the battery powered hand. I've already put the batteries in there because I hate using these electronic features. But the light is pretty damn bright, so you don't want to be looking down into that for too long. But you put on the hilt, and it lights up that hilt pretty nicely. I'll just turn off the lights a bit. So it does have a nice glow. If you turn that off, it goes off like that. So I don't display it like that for any length of time, so I'm just going to take the batteries out and probably put this arm away like I do with all the other Star Wars figures I have that have lightsabers. It comes with the gauntlet, or his forearm protector thing. These pieces to come out just to make it easier for you to remove from his arm, and you take that off, and his glove to put on the skeleton hand. The last accessory, I'll just make a note, it does come with these little tiny pieces. Just read the instructions, because I didn't read the instructions and I didn't really know what these were, but one of them actually goes into his lightsaber hilt right there. And this one here, you just swap out so you can plug it into his belt to hold his lightsaber there. But I'll always have him holding the lightsaber, so I won't bother using that. But onto the figure. Before I show the figure, I'll get to the cloak, which is very nicely done. Just be careful of catching it on the hair there. But the material they've used on this is beautiful. It's not so heavy that it's hard to move around, but it just hangs really naturally. It's a beautiful soft material. I think even nicer than what they used on Obi-Wan from A New Hope. So I'm hoping their upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith has something similar. There is a wire, a very thin wire around the hood, so you can shape it around his face, which I'll definitely have to have him in that sort of Sith brooding pose. But the tailoring and the material they've used is outstanding. The figure itself is beautifully done. There's a simplicity to it, but if you look at all the little details, the layering of the clothing and so on, there's actually a lot to it, and they've done a fantastic job. I'll just start with the head sculpt. I think, again, they've done a great job, particularly with the stranding in the hair. I'll just get him off the stand. Hot Toys definitely is the best in the business, I think, in capturing the finer details in the hair. The hair has that sort of slight bronzish look that they've been using for quite a few of their Star Wars figures. But I think it lays fairly naturally on his face. I think the likeness itself really does capture the movie quite well. As you can see, he does have that angry look. I think perhaps the one thing they could have done for this release is included an alternate head sculpt with his Sith eyes. That would have really taken this set to the next level. But I'm assuming they're probably going to wait for some sort of battle damage version to milk it. But overall, I think I'm happy enough with this particular sculpt. As usual, the texturing on the skin is second to none. Just the way they do that freckling and the glassiness in the eyes. The scar there is nice. Just a note, there are a couple of indentations on the cheek or just along that jawline there. I thought that was a defect in mine, but comparing against some other collector's photos that were shown to me, that is intentional. I can't remember if he actually had those scars in the movie, but I guess it's that little attention to detail that Hot Toys is famous for. The outfit itself, as I was saying before, there's quite a few layers to it. There's this outer sort of fake leather or pleather type material. I think there must be something in the middle here that holds all of those layers centered, or at least as centered as it can be, because you can try and tug these apart, but it seems to stay in the middle. So there must be some sort of clip or something there. But there is I think there's a thin wire. No, there's no wire. There's at least enough play in here to be able to pose it up a little bit. There is a wire along here, I think, where you can sort of shape it around the shoulders. Just depending on how you move it, it does tend to rise up and look a little bit unnatural around the shoulders. But it's great that they added that wire for you to be able to pose it up and not have it flare out too much like he's got massive shoulder pads. But some collectors are a bit concerned about the use of this material, but it's a very nice, soft and supple material that looks fantastic, so I can't complain too much about that. The underclothing here, again, is really nicely tailored and textured. It's a nice sort of, not suede and not silk, but you can see the sort of texture to it that makes it stand out. And then of course it all comes over in a couple of layers there, and then there looks to be an undersuit in there. Now I think there is a warning to not try and remove all the clothing, and I would definitely recommend against it. Underneath here you can see his Jedi Pants, which are nice and loose, so no issues with articulation there. I would recommend do not remove these boots. They're very tight along here, and you can't even really adjust the play of the pants. I guess I didn't like this seam sort of coming towards the front, but it looks like the pants are at least caught along this edge, and I can't rotate it any further than that, so I'm just going to have to live with that. But at least the articulation is pretty good. Now for some reason there is a warning in the instruction book about dynamic poses for this, but you know, you can move the arms pretty freely and the legs as I was showing before. It's got the usual double jointed knees and elbows, so I'm not sure why they've got this warning on this particular figure, but other than that I wouldn't be too concerned about posing this guy up. The boots here are really nicely done. I was thinking that it would be fully sculpted, but they are that sort of soft leather or fake leather type material with all of this strapping, and there is a bit of play in the ankles, so you can get that ankle rocking and ankle tilt action going as well. So just be careful where you hold the leg and gently bend that ankle joint, and you should be able to get some great poses, and the detailing is awesome. The belt, as I was showing before, you can undo it all. I think there is a bit of Velcro back there, but it is pretty tightly done in there, and I wouldn't try and take that off if I were you, just in case everything sort of comes apart and then it takes forever to try and put everything back together. All of these things are sort of clipped on, nothing fabric in there, but they all look nicely molded and painted. So I love that detail. I don't think this clip actually works, but it looks pretty nice. So all in all, a fantastic release. Oh, just remembered I forgot to show this skeleton arm. So you pretty much have to roll up his sleeve here to reveal it all. It is a bit of a pain in the ass. Let me just see if I can roll it up, straighten out his arm. There is a warning to not, as you push it on, don't hold it down here, because these parts are a little bit delicate and flexible. So there is a warning to hold it up on this particular joint as you're pushing in. And when you insert it, you do need to exert a little bit of force, and you'll hear a pretty sizable click once it works. So just be careful of that. But the shiny paint application is really nice, and all of these finger joints are adjustable, so you can sort of get him into all sorts of different finger poses. And of course there's the usual middle finger burr pose. But love that detail, and I'll definitely have him doing a fist clench of some sort with that hand, and holding his lightsaber with the other. But that is pretty much it for this new Anakin Skywalker, and I think they've done a fantastic job. I think from the prequels, I must say that this is the first of their figures I think I've got from the prequels, and I do have Obi-wan pre-ordered as well from Sideshow, so hopefully that comes out by the end of the year. And I guess you know, I've got the Sideshow versions of Darth Maul and Jango Fett. Not sure if Hot Toys is ever going to get around to doing those, but I'm sure they'd do a fantastic job of those as well. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you like that look at Anakin Skywalker, and can click that like and subscribe button. I do have the Lego UCS Y-Wing coming tomorrow, so hopefully you can subscribe and stay tuned for that review coming up next. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.